Truth in plain sight, bringing truth to light in unbiased, nonpartisan, factually founded reporting worldwide.
So there we have it. Astryd Schiller, take it away. Let us have a little bit of history around what we're going to be speaking about here today.
Let me start with what I'm accused of, because I do believe that your audience will like to know first what it is. You can actually Google my name, it will pop up everywhere you actually you have a web browser. And the accusations is that I would have kidnapped my own children. What they do not tell you, though, is the story that really happened. The story that I was actually on vacation, that there was no court order at that time when I was on vacation, that I checked actually with the courts, with the family court register, is there a court order or not? And she said no. And then all of a sudden, the day we went on vacation, I had police on my property. I know this. I had a Ring camera on my on my doorbell. You know, the normal doorbell connected with a camera, and I see police, and I called them back because I was driving, and they told me there was a wellness check, and I said, "Why is there a wellness check?" Because I had actually custody of my boys. I had custody because the father assaulted not only me but the children too. So he was not allowed to be close to us. He was not allowed to be in the same location. He had not even a restraining order. He was not allowed. He had no access to the boys whatsoever, nor to me, indirect or direct. And so that was it. And so on November 17th, all of a sudden, police was on my door, told me there is a wellness check that he received, a phone call from the uncle of the boys saying it would be a life and death situation. I said, I don't understand. The boys are doing fine. They're sleeping now. Thank you very much. And then I was informed CAS would call me. I said, okay. I do know that I don't have to work with them. So I actually connected with the child family service, an international group, and I was telling them the story. I sent even an email to the courts and asked, what is going on? Is there a court order or an endorsement that I do not know about? And received a, nope, there is nothing, miss. Continue on. Yet the phone calls that I all of a sudden had with a Durham CAS worker seemed to be otherwise. She was extremely aggressive. She tried to intimidate. She threatened even to take my boys away. And I said, "What? Why is that? What is going on? I need to see the children. Why? They're doing fine. Everything is perfect. We are on vacation. We're going up north. Please leave us alone. We really need this time out." After at that time, it was 5 years of legal abuse and smear campaigns and whatever not we went through. We went actually through over 455 incidences from the time I was assaulted and escorted from police to the Oshawa Central Hospital on July 18th, 2021, up until I had to actually escort my sons to the hospital on April 18th with bruisings on his body. And the father was then charged. And so we had 455 incidences in which the court, I have to say the judge, did not want to take any kind of responsibility nor say anything about it. We had to have another incident in which the father was then finally stopped by OPP, by those charges, and coming close to them, to the sons.
Wow.
We stayed on vacation. because why wouldn't I? We hadn't been on vacation for forever. We haven't seen those friends since forever. So we stayed there. And while all of this, yes, started to really unravel, and this Durham CAS worker, Jennifer Wiseman, started to be really unbelievable cruel, I had to remind her that there is no mandate, that I do not need to work with her, that I do work with therapists for the boys, that I do work with child family services, with international ones. Why? Because I have the impression, and I really got that knowledge just by being an international person living in Canada, that sometimes the international people are way more responsive, way more trained when it comes to harm and violence within a family. That's my personal view on things. So this is what I told her, and I said to her that if she continued threatening and she wanted to apprehend the children, she said directly into my face, I was saying, you're personally liable for any harm or manslaughter that might happen in my case. And she felt threatened. Yet I do know from national laws, and we have the beautiful Canada law, we have Keelan law, they have statuses where they cannot do this when a mother has already custody because of physical assault on anybody inside of a family, except the person who's all of a sudden saying she's doing something. It's the case unraveled, and I was so afraid to come home. She then lied under oath. I have to say, I was on the phone with her. I had witnesses all around me. She wanted to talk to the children. I had the children in the room, and all of a sudden she refused talking to the room, to the boys.
Right.
And put into her court documents that I would have refused that she talks to them. And I said, well, actually, that was the other side around. But because I was still on vacation, I could not go to this court hearing whatsoever it was. I didn't even know about it. She told me about it it was a complete thing. All of a sudden there was a huge raid on my house at gunpoint. She was this Durham DCAS worker. She was present at the raid. 6 vehicles, OPP was there. But she knew I wasn't at home. My friend who looked out for my cat was at my place and let her go through my house. All police officers at gunpoint. I mean, they knew I wasn't there. Why are they now intimidating then the whole street? Because of their actions, actually, my friend is still traumatized and is shaking when she has to talk about this event. I don't know what really happened because I wasn't there.
Right.
But I know that I have neighbors who actually left our street because of that incident.
Yeah.
Because they felt so threatened by this power overuse.
Yep.
That was there for nothing because they knew I wanted to return on December 3rd. When my friend told me, Astryd, this just happened,
Yep.
I didn't come home anymore because I said something is really not right. I need to figure this out first. But because they came at gunpoint, because she was lying under oath, this Durham CAS worker, what is this?
Right.
And that was the first thing where I'm saying I was completely overwhelmed. I needed first really to calm down my senses and trying to figure out what is going on.
Well,
and that is actually the start of this huge case that then unraveled in police overpower, in privacy breaches, in raids without warrants, in backdated court documents all of a sudden appearing, where we now know that no, I wasn't in the court, but The police was told I was in the court, but 2 years later, there is all of a sudden an email appearing from the family registrar. Oh no, oops, no, she was not in court. And I'm saying this is an incredible story, starting
Yes.
with over four, not only starting, but in between of 455 incidences for the boys, with CRA fraud from this person who accused me then of kidnapping, although we were then on in contact because I called him and I said, what is going on? Can you please tell me? You're the father of the boys. You know they're doing well. What is going on? Not
Right.
knowing that he was the one going to police, pretending that something was not right.
Right.
And then
There
all
you
of a
have it.
sudden, seeing all these court orders a year later,
Right.
backdated court documents, official induced errors that was not investigated by those police officers on my case. They completely neglected that face, misrepresented,
Okay.
misled everyone, including the public. I was called names by
Hmm.
the official media
And
that
there you
made
have it.
me not wanting to return.
Boy, that's a surprise. Feeling unsafe, not knowing who to trust. People are trying to take your children. Everybody seems to be losing and dropping the ball here on everything that's been going on. You must have not known what was going on from one day to the next. I mean, absolutely incredible. So I got to tell you, this makes for moving forward here a great interview. So we're going to be able to move forward here and have ourselves a great interview. And I have a feeling that we're not done here. So thank you for being with us here today, Astryd. I can't wait to hear more.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Hubbard, I
I
have
think you
finally
needed
my
that
voice back.
finally. Thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for honoring us with the opportunity of being able to do this with you. I appreciate that, and we are certainly going to be right there with you every step of the way. So thank you, Astryd.
Follow Truth in Plain Sight, bringing truth to light in unbiased, nonpartisan, factually founded reporting worldwide.